Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I have finally finished playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, so now it's time to do the review. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers before April 11th, so it would really help me out if you would hit that subscribe button. So let's go ahead and get into this. Now, first of all, I want to get in. I want to just say this game was already a masterpiece. It was already one of the best Resident Evil games already made. So, when it comes to Resident Evil 4 Remake, this is probably the best remake that I've played to date. This thing is incredible. Not only does it capture and retain what made the original game super special and super great, but it expands upon it in ways that make this game feel very modern and very good for today's audience. If you haven't played Resident Evil 4, I highly recommend picking this up. Pick up 2, 3, and then 4. Play these games because these are incredible. Now, the games that we have to go off of, Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 Remake, going back into these games after, growing up as a child, growing up, playing through these over the years and really enjoying these experiences has only made things like this opportunity to be able to go back through this and replay this game again even better. Now, I hear a lot of people out there in the community complaining about, I don't want no more remakes, I just want... Some of these timeless classics deserve remakes. The Resident Evil series, every single one of those games deserves to be remade and brought up to today's standards. Not only does it give Capcom a way to continue to monetize these amazing games that we all grew up loving and playing, but it also gives us the opportunity to really see these games shine like they've never been able to shine before. Now, recently, I finished Dead Space Remake. I'd never played through Dead Space. That was my first time going through that game. It was great. I gave it a 9.5. Going through Resident Evil 4 Remake. Oh my gosh, man! Like people were excited about that game, but Resident Evil 4 blows that away. It literally blows that away. I mean, there's some minor things, like with the stick, with your stick, movement and stuff like that. But it wasn't bad enough to really give me a problem with it. I didn't feel like I needed that extra twitchy movement to play this game whatsoever. Actually, it felt pretty good. I feel like the aiming and all of that stuff actually worked out pretty good. It really never really bugged me. Now, there are some, and that's pretty much it. And then the frame rate. So I played through it on quality mode with ray tracing, with hair strands, with the whole works. Played through that, the whole thing. Didn't change any of that. Just played through the whole game solid like that. And I'll tell you what, man, playing through this game is so incredible. Not only does this look amazing, it feels amazing. The remade cutscenes, the expansions that they put into some of the areas and stuff, some of the stuff that they cut out, it all makes sense. It's really freaking good. I'll tell you right now, I'm giving this one a 10. This one here gets a solid 10 from me. There are some minor things that obviously Capcom will be able to come back, fix the frame rate, stuff like that. For my first playthrough, wow, that was incredible. I've started a second playthrough. You can bring all your stuff and go back through the game with all your gear and all your equipment, man. I love this freaking game, man. I love these Resident Evil games so much.
Our intent is correct then.
That I hope they continue. I hope Capcom will do Resident Evil Veronica and also Resident Evil 5.
I'll see what I can find.
Even Resident Evil 6. I would be okay with Resident Evil 6 Remake if they remade Resident Evil 6, 5, and 6 and did them like they just did with 4 and stuff, and put more of the survival horror type stuff into it, and less of the, you know, run and gun action type game, I really think, because there's story content in 5 that definitely needs to be told. 6, yeah, we definitely need to hear more about 6. I want them to kind of come back to the original cast, you know, like Chris Redfield, Claire Redfield, Leon Kennedy, you know, all of the, you know, all of the original people. Redo 0, maybe even redo 1, all like this. I think Capcom can pull it off, and I would still buy them. I know a lot of people would buy them. I'm happy. I'm very satisfied with the way this turned out. As you can tell, I'm like, oh, dude, I'm so overwhelmed with emotion that it's really hard to convey. It's kind of hard to convey my appreciation for what I just played through. Everything looked incredible. Everything felt good. The story beats felt good. The freaking emotion from the characters felt good. I mean, they kept some of the cheesy lines. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't remember some of it. Some of the stuff in Resident Evil 4, my first playthrough, back on the GameCube and stuff. But after getting through here and like seeing everything again, I'm like, whoa, man, that really was an incredible freaking story. So up till now, Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village had kind of like became my favorite one. But I think 4 is back in the top spot for sure. Definitely back in the top spot. I love the way they went through and changed these areas. Now, all of the video footage that you're seeing right now is, I should have said this in the beginning, is all from just the beginning of the game. Just from the very beginning. Nothing too special or anything like that. This is me, you know, going through on my new game plus mode with all of my gear, with all of my equipment. I don't know, man. I don't know what else to say. Like they nailed it. Capcom nailed it. They hit the nail on the head with this Resident Evil, and it's truly amazing. It's truly amazing. Definitely a stressful experience. I started the game on a standard, and I ended up dropping it back down to assisted. You can say whatever you want, but this game gets very, very stressful toward the end, toward the last part of the game. I'm gonna go through it again on the standard difficulty with my new game plus save. See how that works out. I shaved off, you know, going through it from like level from chapter 5 forward on assisted mode. I'd cut some time off the overall experience. I dropped it down to like 11 hours and 31 minutes, which is fine because I had a whole bunch of stuff that I was doing yesterday. Wasn't able to really, you know, sit down and get into it. So kind of just did that for time's sake because I got to go back to work tomorrow and start my week. And I really like to get these finished on the weekend. That's the main reason when I do that, when I drop it down to easy peasy mode, is actually assisted mode on this game is really not that easy. Like if you're a newcomer, I do recommend playing this on assisted mode. It's not that it's hard or anything. It's that, you know, you have to be able to like conserve ammo and like how you're going to use your stuff and certain things like that. So I do recommend just being on point with just to get through it, because these games are designed to play over and over again. And Resident Evil 4, there's definitely a lot of replay value in this. There's a lot of replay value. Getting through some of this stuff, going through it with with maxed out gear and everything, like it really opens up the more times you play it, because then you get better at this game. You get better at fighting things, you get better at doing things, and the first time you play through these games, you're supposed to be, you shouldn't have to like look up how to play this game. You shouldn't have to do that. The assisted mode, the very beginning mode, is enough to stress you. I mean, it's not super duper hard. I mean, like there's these monsters toward the end of the game that that they're easier to take out with this scope, but you can take these out with a knife. You could take these out with a knife on assisted mode. And I did it. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, I can't believe that. And I remember that part from like the old Resident Evil 4, and that was very stressful. I was a lot younger then. It was a lot more stressful then. There's this other enemy, man, that oh boy, man, if it wasn't on assisted, that would have taken me forever to get through that, man. But my gosh, I don't know, man. I don't shame anybody for playing these games on assisted mode, or you know, like the casual mode or anything like that. Play through them. Have some fun with it. Learn the systems. Learn how to play them. It's the experience that you're there for, I think. And if you're there just for the story, assisted mode's not a bad thing. But if you're gonna keep playing these like I do, like I keep playing, well, I used to. Before I started this channel, I used to play through these games more than just once. But since I've started this channel, sometimes I go back, sometimes I don't. I've got so many games restarted on like a second mode. When I get in the mood, like I will go back and play it. Maybe I'll do some live streaming of this one after it's been out for a little while, so I'm not spoiling a bunch of stuff. But as it sits right now, man, Resident Evil 4 Remake is top quality remake. Top quality remake, solid 10. Capcom knocked it out of the park with this one. I really hope they'll do 5 or even Code Veronica next. I would really like to see one of those games. I think that 5 would carry the story forward more. Code Veronica is definitely one of those ones that I would love to see remade. I would love to replay through that again. Yeah, the sky's the limit. I'm very optimistic for the future of how Resident Evil's going, and I feel like, man, they recaptured that. Capcom recaptured that feeling, the essence of what made this particular franchise special, and still holds it, in my opinion, above all the rest. Now, I really do like The Last of Us, but the second game kind of went in a weird direction. But Resident Evil has always pretty much stayed pretty true to what worked until they got to, 5 was still pretty decent, but 6 kind of went a little weird. That was probably the least liked one, or the, I don't know, not the least liked. It was probably like my least favorite. But going back through these, if they redo 5 and 6, I would be happy with that. If they redo 5 and 6, I only want them to do Chris and Leon's story, and then maybe just put the other stuff in there with those 2 stories. But man, dude, I'm excited. This was a freaking blast. This was such a good game, such a good experience to re-go through. Now, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. That's why I haven't been trying to, spoil anything. All of the footage you're seeing is within the first half hour of the game. So if you like this content, man, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I do encourage you to subscribe. We are trying to get to 5,000 subscribers before April 11th. So if you can help me out with that, I'd really appreciate it. And I thank you, and we'll see you guys in the next one.